Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the series What If Civilization Started Over? In the last episode, we saw the expansion of the civilization following the beginning of the series, and we saw many new countries appearing. Of course, in episode 1, there were only the original 5. Now we have many more, and before I say anything else, make sure that you watch the previous episodes before watching this one, because obviously it works better as watching it as a series. It feels weird if you just skip around. And honestly, I just feel like if you watch one episode, why not watch the others? And if you watch the full video, why not subscribe? Also, I do want to say that the second episode of the series did perform better than the first one, meaning that more likely than not, a lot of people have not seen part one. So, if you're returning from episode 2, go watch part 1 and 2. Actually, just part 1 because I said if you're returning from episode 2, blah blah blah. If you're new, you can go watch episode 1 and 2. Episode 1 is, I don't want to say boring, but it kind of has to be that way if you're introducing a new series. But without further ado, let's jump right on into this. And right off the bat, I'm going to admit that I completely forgot to do something between this recording and the last that I'm not going to promise I'm going to do, but hopefully I will have that done before the next episode is recorded. Hopefully. I hope I don't forget, but knowing me, I probably will. And if I forget one more time, I'll say what it is, but yeah, for now, it's going to remain a mystery. Now, where do we start? There are a lot of places we could start. There are a lot of things I want to do here. Most of my plans for the series come with later stuff. We kind of got to get out of this ancient era. So, how do we do that? Well, honestly, this episode's not going to be the end of it. We're probably going to see the ancient era persist for a few more episodes. I don't know how long, but eventually we've got to reach the Bronze Age, which is a completely different age, and it's a massive technological boost for the world. So, yeah, we kind of got to see some things playing out before that, because then our timeline would be all out of whack, because, of course, it goes Neolithic stuff to early civilization stuff to Bronze Age. Then you get to the Iron Age and Middle Ages after that. And yeah, we kind of gotta find a way to shift on over to the Bronze Age eventually here. And I don't know how long that's gonna take, but we kind of gotta set it up probably in this episode. And basically, what I mean by that is we've gotta see the spread of civilization further and further. And let's start off over here in North Africa because the Lime country will be making a landing over here in Morocco. They set up their little, I guess you could call it a colony, but not it not only is just tiny, it's also just very underpopulated and nobody really lives here. So, yeah, we're just going to see these guys expanding out, exploring this little area, but they don't really care about this African gain. Again, they have beef with the purple team, so it's probably a ploy just to stop the purple team's expansion. Also, I do want to get provinces on this eventually. Maybe that's something I could stream. That probably, I don't know, with how many followers I have on both Twitch and YouTube, that might be a bad choice to do because, well, yeah, look at this map and also look at my YouTube channel. I'm not doing too, but yeah, that might have to be something we do at a later time, or I just do it in my own time. I don't really want to do it in my own time because I know drawing provinces takes a while. I've seen how long the 8S Pros streams are, and yeah, let's continue exploring. And just like last time, I completely forgot to update the exploration of the water. Yay! This is going to be a trend. I'm gonna forget to do it at the end of this episode and the end of the next one, and it's just gonna become a trend. I probably am not lying. I have no way of knowing if I'm lying because obviously this episode isn't over yet, but I'll try to do my best to get on top of it, at least after the next one. This one I might slip up again, but I don't know. And as you can tell by what I just did, a certain area is known about. Looking at Great Britain here. And over here in India, we have a little more water being explored. Not all too much because these guys are a little further out. They're a little less populated. And yeah, the exploration goes down to here. I keep forgetting that it would go down to the white parts rather than the brown parts there. And yeah, speaking of this brown country, let's check up on them. In the last episode, I said they were underpopulated, and that's something nobody ever says about India, but that was true. Notice how I said was. This country is now booming in population and will begin to expand outward. They they're pretty controversial in the region because if you're not in the brown team, you're likely in an underpopulated area ruled by local tribes, and these local tribes are not in favor of the expansion of, I guess it'd probably be coined as like people from Mesopotamia who originated from the first civilization because obviously there are tribes around here everywhere. But yeah, I feel like I need to re-outline things. In episode 1, I might have said it. I kind of said that there aren't people everywhere. That was kind of a lie. There are tribes, there just aren't developed civilizations because that'd be way too much to keep track of. Because in Native's Pros timeline, we were kind of unable to look at any environmental impacts on natives in America, and I feel like that's a missed opportunity. So, yeah, we're gonna be kind of ignoring things that would definitely happen, like equivalents to the Aztec and Inca empires would definitely form. Maybe not in their respective regions, but there'd definitely be similar stuff happening in the Americas. Maybe if I did it in a way where civilizations could just appear anywhere, we could have a complete reverse happening and we could see the Americas colonizing the rest of the world. Who knows? It's up to your interpretation, not mine, because my brain's not letting me interpret it right now. Anyways, speaking of India, as I was saying, they are exploring through these areas where tribes despise them, and eventually they're gonna reach the southern area of India, where these tribes are the worst to, I guess, explore into their territory. These guys are strict about their territorial claims, and they're also strict about like everything, their tribal cultureness, and yeah, they're gonna kind of become isolated from the rest of the Indian subcontinent here, as the brown team will go ahead and shoot straight across this area here, and they're gonna begin to claim this coastal area. But now, at this point, I think that's enough brown team coverage for now. That's enough screen time. They're not relevant yet. Notice how I say yet. Anyways, we head over to this orange country who, after getting independence, did absolutely nothing for a whole episode, so let's change that. They're going to be exploring up the eastern coast of the Caspian Sea. I don't know what they've been doing this whole time. Maybe it's taking them a long time to expand across this area, but they're basically going to explore a little bit and expand up here. That's about all I have. Most of my plans for this orange country are not now, is all I'm saying. So, yeah, let's head over to the pink country, who I do have plans for, and they're gonna be right now. And the pink team will be exploring into all this Ukrainian area. And they're gonna see this area, and they're gonna be like, ooh, let's get into this area. And so we're gonna see the pink team going ahead and claiming this southern Ukrainian kind of area. Small problem though. You have a very low population, and most of the population actually wants to move into this new area. So basically, what we have here is the exact opposite of, I believe it was India, where people didn't want to move over to India from the green team. I might be wrong. It might be something to do with the purple team over here. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure it was something to do with India. But now we see the exact opposite happening over here with the pink team, where most of the people are leaving from this Romanian area. What that kind of causes is not only a small part of this to rejoin up with the yellow team, but we're also going to see a rebellion from the pink team. These guys are the guys who didn't choose to move over. And yeah, they're going to gain their sovereignty because the pink team doesn't really care about this region. I mean, they do care, but they want the more valuable land, and that Romanian area isn't as valuable to them as the Ukrainian area is. And so it's kind of like, okay, you do you, I do me, but it's not like they're hostile in relations or whatnot. And I think that's all I want to talk about the pink team for now. I do have more future plans for them. But now we head over to this area, and as you can see where I'm focused in, we're going to see the yellow Roman, Italian, weird kind of country has gone ahead and discovered the islands of Corsica and Sardinia. And they're going to go ahead and claim both of these islands. These islands are probably uninhabited. They definitely could be inhabited, but I mean, if the Italians just discovered them now, it's more likely than not that they're uninhabited, and the Italians will just be able to inhabit that area. Anyways, now heading down to this Tunisian country, they're gonna work with their former rulers to explore all this water area here. I kind of just want to get rid of the water that's unexplored in the Mediterranean. At this point, we're going to see naval groups from the Lime Team, Cyan Team, and Yellow Team linking up along the coast of Africa here. Basically, what this does is that, first of all, and second of all, it teaches the Yellow Team that there are countries over here that they probably didn't know about, and the Purple Team is not on their border anymore. They knew that, but they didn't know really what ended up happening to the Purple Team because they're all the way over here in Portugal now. So yeah, lore update, Yellow Team. But yeah, the Yellow Team has been focused a little too much on their navy and whatnot, not so much on themselves. And so we're gonna see a region of the Italian country choosing to break away to form their own country. And this region will be the Venetian region. They're going to be breaking away from the rest of the yellow Italian country, which will notably divide the Italian peninsula from the rest of the yellow team. And very quickly, this will spiral out of control. A large, I guess, kind of Albanian state will form over here in Albania, and it will very quickly gain control over most of the remainder of the Balkans, and it will also push up into this Dalmatian area here. We also see the independence of Dalmatia itself, another new country in this region, and basically what I'm going on about is that the yellow team is falling apart, and this area is now detached, so yeah, let's create a new color, and let's give it to this new greenish kind of color country. And yeah, now you're independent. And there are a lot of gray pixels on this map that are bugging me. But yeah, that just leaves this little piece of Anatolia left. And we're gonna see, first of all, the Golden Greek country will be taking all of these islands because they feel like doing that. And we're gonna see the rest of this yellow area here splitting into two. The first area will be the southern half. This will be the more populated area. The second area will be the northern half. This will be the less populated area, but more strategic. And I mean, that's probably all it has going for it. But at this point, the yellow team has released many new countries, and they are unstable. But they will go ahead and begin to form good, I guess, relations with most of their new neighbors. Of course, they know about these guys, but they're probably not going to be talking to these guys because of how far out they are. They were barely talking to the red team as it was when they shared a border, so yeah, they're probably uninvolved with those two. But the rest of these guys, they're probably talking to. Anyways, back to the naval stuff. Um, that happens, and then we see that happening. So the lime team, yellow team, and cyan team are definitely working together here, and we're gonna see this continuing, as now they want to explore the Mediterranean over here. And a little update on this: Egypt has been exploring a lot of it, and they now know that this is Greece up here. They probably already knew that before, but they never went up to do anything. And over here, this has been explored a little closer into. They just don't know if they're like islands in this area, but that still exists. Probably will for a little bit. And yeah, now heading over to this region, which I was just talking about. The Greeks will work with the cyan team and the yellow team to go ahead and explore most of this area. And at this point, the yellow team is kind of stretching their naval explorations out. So they're going to go ahead and stop to focus on rebuilding themselves, which they probably should have done in the first place. They're spending a lot of their, I guess, it's kind of weird because ancient era, but also you gotta explore the water. Does that cost money? Like, how does that work? I'm not too familiar with the ancient era of our real life world, so yeah, I honestly could not say, but this probably is somewhat realistic, I want to say, but not perfectly realistic. So yeah, we're gonna see the cyan team working on this, and obviously the blue team's working on this, and oh, they meet each other. And when the cyan team says their country is a descendant of the yellow team, the blue team's gonna kind of get mad about that because the yellow team was a European country, and now there is a roadblock on your far western, I guess, neighbor region, and you wanted to conquer this entire continent. Greedy you. Anyways, heading back over to the cyan team, they've definitely explored a lot of the area around them, so let's go ahead and reflect this. The cyan team has been around for a little bit now, probably I think the middle of the last episode, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, these guys will be exploring down into this coastal area here, and yeah, at this point, they've gone ahead and linked up their land exploration up with the Egyptians. So yeah, these two are now officially linked, and all the land surrounding the Mediterranean is fully explored. And at this point, I'm just gonna do this. Same for that area there and that. It just makes more sense to do that, and it looks a lot better on the map for it to be this way. So I'm just gonna have it that way. Heading over to the Caspian, it probably isn't fully explored, so it probably looks something like this, I want to say, at this point. They don't know much of what this area of Russia is. The most they know is this part of Kazakhstan. Heading over to India, these guys have definitely been exploring the water on this other side. But I mean, they're probably not exploring too far out on their western coast. And heading down to the Red Sea, we probably see the Egyptians and Red Team exploring over to here, but that's about it. I really doubt they'd explore any further there. Now, we actually get to talk about the Red Team because the Red Team will go ahead and continue their exploration around the coastline of Arabia, and eventually this will complete. This has been going on for a while now, so I'm just covering it at one point, similar to how the Purple Team was collapsing all throughout the last episode. It didn't all happen at once. Obviously, that same kind of thing's going to be happening here. We're going to see the Red Team beginning to conquest these smaller tribes as they begin to expand into Arabia. Now, heading over to the Lime Team, you know how they have this? Well, it's booming in population, and they kind of got to expand upon it because, well, it's booming in population. And when it starts kind of growing out of control, it's gonna break away. That's exactly what we're gonna see happening here, as we see this kind of pinkish, dark magenta kind of country breaking away. Um, it says it's a dark pink on my color wheel, so I'm just gonna call it a dark pink. So it's gonna be a dark pink, and yeah, I think I don't. I think maybe the Dalmatian country is probably the closest color to that. So yeah. Now heading over to the Maroon country, which I've been waiting to move over to this area for a little bit to cover this. They have been working on their exploration, and they have now discovered a lot of the Rhine area in Germany, as well as a lot of the eastern area of Germany, as well as the northern area. They've been putting in their research on the German area, and they're going to go ahead and begin to expand into this area. It's once again flat land, so they can kind of just do this. It's not too populated, so I mean, no one's stopping them. And yeah, we're gonna also see them expanding by the bluish French country, who they're gonna see as a rival at this point. Not enemies, but rivals. These two kind of have beef, but not really. It's like kind of like, oh hey, I'm beating you, haha. And then the other one's like, oh, okay, we're gonna one you up. Something along that line. But I'm not gonna delve too deep into it because that's gonna become relevant later, not now. And I have no idea how far into recording I am. 21 minutes. That's about as long as the previous few episodes. So let's keep going. And let's head on over to the green team, which I mean didn't really do anything at all today and won't really be doing anything at all today. But I feel like it's time to mention this. The green team is stuck. They are trapped. They're an expansionist country, and their northern area is mountain. So, yeah, they're kind of forced to move into this Iranian, Pakistani, and Afghanistan area, and they're going to see a lot of their explorers dying because these guys are trained to the coastline. Although they will expand inward, the green team will find a very hard time in expanding into this area and hence expanding their influence and whatnot. So, yeah, the green team is stuck. They're completely locked away, and the Indians and red team are completely blocking them off from expansion. This is made official when the red team fish, fishes finishes off claiming the northern part of Oman here. And yeah, that spells out complete defeat for the green team. They have no more opportunities for expansion along water. So yeah, the green team is sad. Laugh at them. Now let's head over back to Arabia because I want to finish exploring part of this. Arabia is obviously a desert, but the red team's been here a while. This is probably a little more explored than this map represents. And also, it's probably more claimed than the map represents. And yeah, at this point, we're going to see the red team's empire expanding to look something like this in the south. Up north, they will be expanding over here and reaching the Black Sea. And at this point, the red team's expansion will be finished. We will be checking up with these guys some other time. But now we head over to the blue team, who is exploring down the eastern coast of Africa because now they see that they've been blocked off over in the east. They gotta explore over here, hope they can do something. And so they see no countries, and they're gonna go ahead and expand. The problem, though, is that this is the problem. A massive chunk of you will rebel because they don't want to expand. And the Egyptians will kind of have to take this because they've fallen off. They used to be the strongest country in the world, if that means anything. I mean, at this point, it's probably the lime country over here in Iberia. That's what I want to say. But yeah, the Egyptians have fallen off, their civilization's collapsing, and they'll make one final effort to expand into Libya before inevitably we see the exact same thing happening, and we're going to see Libya breaking away from the blue team as well. And that will officially go ahead and do it for this episode. And I mean, if you made it this far in the video, you should probably subscribe. I keep saying this, but I don't like saying subscribe, like, please, please, I beg of you. That's not my thing. But I mean, I'm kind of hypocritical in that aspect because I keep bringing this up, but I don't like begging. And I kind of strive for this series to go on. So if I don't get the attention that I kind of need to keep this going, it's not going to keep going. So if you do enjoy this series so far, if you enjoy the influence from Atis Pro, of course, make sure you're subscribed to him. All credit goes to him because without him, this series would not exist. But if you do enjoy this personal series as well, make sure you subscribe to me and make sure you like the video because then that means more people will likely see the video and then they'd be more likely to click on it. Anyways, that's enough from me. I'm not going to stall this time because I'm going to try and record more videos after this. I could fail at doing that. Usually I do. Whenever I say I'm going to record a video after, that never usually happens. But yeah, I'll try to do it differently this time. And I will be seeing you all later. Subscribe.